Welcome back to the SploinkerSMP. Wait, this isn't the SploinkerSMP. Why does this village look so weird? What are all these things? Why is there a cake on my head? That is because we have upgraded the SploinkerSMP to a modded SMP for the time being. We've been facing a couple issues. A new update of Minecraft just dropped and we really want to update. But that's gonna take a little moment. Not only that, because of the new way attributes work and a bunch of other things that have changed in the new update, I need to manually alter all of the god weapons and basically redo them as a whole. This has given me the opportunity to completely revamp all of the god weapons, which I am now doing through the use of data packs. Because of this, I am completely revamping the way they work, and I'm also giving them cool new abilities, and they just overall work very differently. And it's so cool. It's not finished yet. I'm still working on it, ergo why we're not on the regular SploinkerSMP right now. But I am really excited to show you it once it's done. I've made some progress. If you've been following me on twitch.tv/mixedmina, you'll have seen some of my progress and what I've been doing, and it's very exciting. But for now, we are playing on this Create modded SMP, which is still the SploinkerSMP. It's just a little different for now. We just need a little bit more time before we can fully update, and that's why we're doing this right now, as a little break. I'm probably going to guess this is going to be a thing for about a month, until we get back onto the regular SploinkerSMP, including lore. Don't worry, there will be lore. Lots of lore. But yeah, welcome to SploinkerSMP Create. Hi, Future Mina here. So it turns out that randomly my recording software decided to select a different microphone, which means that all of my recordings have been without my voice. So instead, I'm just going to voice over my own voice because that'll go fine. I'll just assume what I was saying. Yeah. No, it'll be exactly the original sentences I've used in the footage, and it will be completely normal, with no different context whatsoever.
Hey, Elfie, hello, hi, hey, why did you steal that candy from that very innocent child?
I had to. I saw the chance and I took it.
Oh, wow. Hey, Elfie, did you know that with seahorse, the male becomes pregnant and not the female?
I'm thinking of taking over this lake.
Oh, cool, where's that?
That's over here.
Oh, well,
and by that I just mean I might put like a tower in the center of it.
That's what I was gonna say, yep.
I think this is probably as far as I'm gonna end up going.
I mean, moving your mouse up and down isn't really that difficult, right?
No, I know it's not difficult.
Alfie, I've fallen down and I can't get back up. Hey, Alfie, are you at your base right now?
I'm here.
You're behind me, aren't you?
No, behind you.
Yeah, I knew it! Explode.
Oh, yay!
Man, I look so handsome today.
There's 250 durability. No, but there's gravel right here. No, you can just break. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say, you can just break one, take the gravel, and then you keep breaking it until it gives you it. That's what I did earlier to get my knife. Be careful of crimson mosquitoes. Yeah, hopefully no flies go through the nether portal, because they turn into those, I think, when they enter the nether. Yeah, so have fun with that. Let me know if it's a good spawn or not. Oh, it hived a bit when you went in. Why? No, no. Great. I have light blue canvas signs now, Mina.
Did I scare you? If so, I am incredibly sorry. Not really. Honestly, I don't know where to begin. I had a whole rehearsal on how I was going to start this conversation, but I have no idea. Basically, my recording time and editing time has been cut extra short because last week, and a little over a week really, I had to take a bit of a forced break. It's nothing too crazy, but I physically was just exhausted and I hadn't been taking proper sleep and I just had to recover. I couldn't even touch my computer during that time. I'm just finally getting back to getting some stuff done. Like yesterday, at the time of recording this, I uploaded Failing Star, my new song. But when it comes to playing Minecraft, this is literally the first time I've touched it in a couple weeks now. And I had been playing before I had to take my forced break. As you can see, there's quite a lot going on behind me, which I will definitely still show you in a minute. But because of all this drama and, you know, this episode had already gotten into enough trouble just with the recordings failing and everything just going wrong. But that's okay, because I will just make of it what I have. Just because some things go wrong doesn't mean I'll let this episode fail, and I'll still show you everything that I've done, even though it might not be as much as usual. But I shouldn't blame myself for that. I can't. Because, well, I couldn't have predicted the way this went. Also, no one else has really played on the server in the meantime either. People are just kind of busy, and they've got other things on their mind, which is completely fine. I mean, it's the end of the school year, people are busy with whatever, and it makes sense that they're not super active. So instead, I'll just be showing you the last couple things that we have going on over on SSCP Create. Even though it might have been short, and I'll probably never return to this world, at least not in this fashion, it's still fun, and I had fun playing Create for a while, even if it was short. But you know, we'll be getting back to the regular SSCP soon enough, and I will be showing you those glamorous new god weapons that I am still really excited for, and now that I'm slowly getting back into Minecraft, I'll be working on them. I didn't even been able to look on the website to see how many people have been online, and I admit I was a little shocked to see that literally no one had played while I was gone. So I think that's just a sign to let this world go. Even though there's a bunch of unfinished buildings, and I've started putting in a railway system, and started some really cool plans, they can wait until another time. I'm sure a day will come where I get to fulfill my dreams of connecting up people's bases of trains and making all sorts of cool factories. It'll happen. It'll happen. Not today, but eventually. Some people did want to play, but they just simply couldn't because of hardware issues, and we can't really help that, unfortunately. That is the kind of benefit that just having a simple Vanilla Plus server with only a couple added features and not a whole list of mods that make your game go weebly woobly. So I expected everything. Honestly, it's fine. It's fine. But I have been yapping for long enough, so let me show you around. So here's the iron farm that I built. It's got this beautiful glass cage around the water wheels that I'm using to power the iron farm. I really like this. You can walk over it. The benefit of this is that if you're being chased by a bunch of mobs, you can just quickly run over it, and that's it. You can get away just like that. And because I'm wearing slime boots, even though I've turned them on visually, they're there. You take no fall damage. That's crazy. And they're super cheap to make. It's perfect. I love them. I love the slime boots. They can be a little bit annoying, and sometimes they glitch out a little bit, and sometimes you can't even jump up a full block. It's a little wacky, but you know, fall damage stinks, and these work just like slime blocks, so if I take fall damage, I'm accidentally pressing shift. So going inside, and there isn't a lot of space in here. It's a very simple setup. There's just some cobblestone generators that keep generating cobblestone, very slowly breaking it. It doesn't need to be fast, I just wanted it to work, even though it's already got this many water wheels. And if I break even just one of these, the farm stops running. That's mostly because I've powered up these millstones until the maximum rotational speed, which might have been a little bit much because it gets through the gravel way faster than it generates anyway, but I felt like I needed it, and I did it. But yeah, the cobblestone comes out here, it goes through these millstones that run through this belt, then it gets washed, comes into here. Underneath here there's a fire, so the flint gets burned, that gets generated because I don't really need flint. And then all that remains is the iron, which gets put into this barrel, and it's been going for a while, so I have a lot of iron. Now this may seem like a lot, but honestly a regular iron farm is just way faster, even though this one is a lot easier to make. It looks very complicated, but once you figure out the basic Create systems, it's just a couple belts and some funnels that run into each other. It's really nothing special, and it's a lot easier to make than getting villagers in a hole, because that stinks. As for the building, it's very simple. It's literally just a big rectangle with a roof on top of it that is slightly slanted. I really do like it though. It's very basic, and I was like, maybe I need to add some more to it, but I decided not to. There's already enough going on just like this. Because of chipped, there's so many different blocks you can use, even though they're just, you know, diorite or even dirt. Yeah, this is dirt. This stuff, that's dirt, but it looks amazing, right? Just ignore the fact that it's dirt. I know I said it and I ruined it for you forever that this is dirt because you probably thought it's some kind of wood, but no, it's just dirt. It's all dirt. But I'm just in love with the look of it. I added these smokestacks on top and they generate smoke, and it makes it look so alive, like it's a real factory and it's moving and it's doing stuff. Even though you can't see the inside, which has the actual moving parts, the outside still looks alive, even though it's just a box. I mean, I didn't even bother to fill in the floor because I don't really come in here a lot. I did add this crate, but that was just because I was experimenting with these blocks. Because I originally planned to build a lot more factories, I didn't bother to make them look too interesting. I more so wanted just a whole quantity of different factories together in an area, and it would have looked just fine like this. I wanted to make the outside look way more visually interesting than the inside anyway, and I think I went into a right direction. This building looks a lot more modern. The building next to it though looks like a very old, like first generation factory from, I don't know, what would you say, 1600s? If I'm correct in my timestamps. I don't know, it's been a while since I've been in a history lesson, so I don't remember when the Industrial Revolution happened exactly. I believe it was 1600 something, but correct me if I'm wrong, please. Even though the iron farm technically existed first, the building for the obsidian farm, however, did exist first. Because this is the first building I actually made. I put a lot more work in the detail on this one than the other one. You can tell by the weathering, on the texture, on the bricks, and even though this side isn't done completely because I was going to make like a greenhouse over the cactus. It looks like a fact. Why is there? Oh, I didn't even notice that. Just a little ladder going to the roof. There's a bunch of smokestacks, which yes, they do actually come from actual pieces inside of the farm, like the steam boiler over here, and over here there's campfires that are burning stuff that are actually emitting smoke now. So I went in for realism. Give me points for that, please. Points. I love points. Some little dead bushes around, even though I've done that around the other building as well. I just think it looks nice. The simplest Minecraft building trick is always just to add bushes. Outside of the obsidian farm, there's also this wheat farm, which is, there's not a lot going on over there. But actually, for the obsidian farm, it's mostly the inside, which is really interesting, because there's a lot going on, so we'll go through it step by step on how I built it originally. The first thing I made was this cactus farm outside, which simply just collects cactus. Also, keep in mind that this whole farm runs just on wheat and cactus. There is no other material that gets used besides, I guess, wood, sort of, but I'll get into that later. But it doesn't get used to make the product itself, alright? The cactus comes out here and gets burnt, made into green dye, which will be used later. and also there's wheat seeds and everything else that I don't need being composted on this other belt. So every excess material that I generate will just be composted. The next thing I decided to do was make a steam boiler because I needed to power my farm, and it's generating way too much power that I don't need. Most of the capacity comes from the building next to here, which is using way more power than all of this together, I believe. But I decided to connect it up to other things anyway, so I still make use of having way too much power inside this one building, which I thought was kind of funny, and now we get funny power lines running through here. There's 2 tree farms out here to power the steam boiler. The wood gets taken and converted into charcoal, and also all the axis oak saplings get composted because I have no use for them, even though I could probably also do that with apples and the sticks, but sometimes I use them, so I'll keep some of them. But yeah, most of this stuff is kind of useless, even the logs. I mean, I have 25,000 logs. I don't know what I'm gonna ever do with that. Surprisingly, I do need both of these farms running though, because if I only have one of them, it's never gonna work, because it'll slowly trickle down. So I do need 2 of them, even though now it's generating way too much. So decisions, it's difficult, okay? But yeah, the steam boiler just powers up through the use of charcoal, and it just keeps it running. The bone meal that gets generated from the farm then gets crushed into white dye, even though right now we're kind of out of white dye. It also creates light gray dye, even though I don't use that anywhere, so it's just kind of being voided in a drawer. Then the wheat from outside gets crushed into wheat flour and seeds, which those seeds again get converted into bone meal through the composters. The nice thing about this farm is that it generates quite a bit of excess materials, which I can also just use to make more bone meal, which then feeds back into the farm itself, and it's just basically everything except the stupid gray dye gets reused in some way. I don't know what to do with this stuff. The wheat flour then gets made into dough through washing, I believe. I can't really tell, there's too much going on. Ah yeah, washing, I knew that. The nice thing about the dough is that if there's too much of it, I'll also use that to bake it into bread over on the other side of the farm, which then goes back into this area and also gets composted. So no matter what, I'll just be composting stuff. Once there's enough white dye, like you can see happening right now, and green dye, it'll be made into lime dye over here, which you can see the farm running right now. The lime dye then gets made into slime balls using the dough, and the slime balls are what is making my farm do all sorts of special stuff. Not really, it's only one thing that it does, but it's really cool. Let me show you. So apparently you can just haunt slime balls to make magma cream. And a lot of Axis slime balls, apparently. I don't know what I'm ever going to do with this many slime balls. There's even an Axis amount of slime balls in here. What am I going to do with this many slime balls? Well, the magma cream that gets created gets stamped into magma blocks, which I now have a lot of. But whenever I feel like it, and I don't want to have this many magma blocks, I can turn the magma blocks into bread. No, not into bread. That's what the dough does over there, if there's too much dough. Anyways, Obsidian, which I have 4,000 of. And I don't think I'll ever need this much obsidian, nor this much magma blocks. But obviously obsidian can be used for lots of things, like crushing it into obsidian dust, which can be used to make train casing and all sorts of other things. Honestly, at first I thought I would need a lot of the stuff, but turns out you really don't. I'm probably never ever gonna get through this amount, especially with how short the server actually is going to run for. But then I found out that by creating magma blocks, you can wash it into netherrack. And netherrack can be used to make redstone. So really, this farm just creates so much good stuff that I'm amazed. This is arguably the best early game farm you can make when you're working with drawers as well. Drawers have these things called void upgrades, and void upgrades are essential when you're working with drawers. Drawers can eventually get full, which can clog up a system and may, for some farms, cause items to spill all over the place and cause all sorts of issues. Normally what you do is place a fire somewhere, like I did with the flint on the iron farm, but over here I didn't really want to do that. So what you can instead do is place a void upgrade in a drawer, which will void any excess items that you don't need, meaning that if there's ever too many items of something, they'll just get deleted. Which might sound bad, but honestly, once you've got like over thousands and thousands of blocks, you don't really need more. Like, some disappearing doesn't hurt. And you can always put in upgrades to give it more space, and there's quite a few slots, so you can get quite a lot of space. And it ups it by 32 times per emerald upgrade, and all this takes is 2 emeralds. It's super cheap. You can just trade some sticks with some villagers and get one of these upgrades, like, super easily. The void upgrades, however, take 8 obsidian per upgrade. They're super expensive. You know, getting infinite storage is super cheap, but for some reason, making sure you don't break your game by items flowing everywhere is very expensive. I don't really get it, but it doesn't matter because this is Create and we can mass produce any item we want. Well, almost any item, but essential things like obsidian and magma blocks are completely fine, apparently. So yeah, if you decide to get into Create and playing it yourself, get one of these farms. Also use drawers, it's so nice. Basically how the drawers works is you've got these trims that connect up all of the different drawers everywhere into one big hive-minded system, and using these drawer controllers, you can take any item you want out of the drawer system wherever you want, as long as you connect up the trims. And all you need is just one of these drawer controllers, which does use some diamonds to craft, I believe, but it's just worth it. Like, this whole farm runs on drawers. If it wasn't for drawers, something like this wouldn't be possible to be made so compact. Another thing that's nice about it is that it reduces so much lag, because drawers are super lag friendly. They store items in a single place, and just a simple hive-minded block together that does all the math for everything else, and you don't have to have any actual items moving around, causing lag by moving around, doing collision things, and all sorts of wacky math that causes a lot more lag. So not only does it work way better, it also reduces lag a lot, which, playing on a server, even though it's mostly just been me, is still really, really nice. Now, if you've wondered what the other building is, it's obviously by no means finished, and the only thing that it has right now is housing for some simple contraptions that I needed to make rails and train contraption stuff with, which is really all it is, and yeah, as you can see, it's not particularly done. I don't know if I'll ever finish it, but that's because I have other priorities right now. Speaking of those other priorities, I will get to that right now. You've probably already seen some of it, and this is the part that excites me the most. This is what I absolutely love about Create, but it is trains. I made my own magenta train, V1. I did have a plan to make a better, bigger one, because it's a bit small at the moment. It's not super, like, short, but it's a little tiny train. It's nice, it's functional, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it sells the fact that it's a train to me, even though no one else has really gotten to see it in action. I myself have barely even seen it in action, but let's just give it a spin. And right. Yeah, okay, there isn't a lot of track yet, and this sort of stuff takes a lot of time to set up. Rails turns out to be very expensive, so I kind of have gotten to a halt on this progress. But I have planned out some track. So if you look at the map, we can see where the tracks are all going towards. Here's where Hunter lives, who kept raiding our nearby village of all sorts of important things, like the Waystone. And Hunter just does Hunter things. But I decided to make a train track towards Hunter. I could have made a station somewhere around here. That would have been a nice destination point. I also wanted to make a train track all the way towards Spawn, which is this village, and one up towards this area in case I wanted to build something over there. It's a nice flat area, and I just thought it would be nice. Now, yeah, these are some pretty big plans, and they'll probably never get done, but I live to dream. You know, I already got quite a long way, so I'm not too mad about ending the series here. It might return, I make no promises. Probably the next episode you'll see will be back on the actual SploinkerSMP, but I'm still happy to even just start working on this and showing you my inspiration, even if it's just in small chunks and ideas. I get really excited about this sort of stuff, and I'm an absolute nerd when it comes to Minecraft Create. I'm just a nerd, okay? But anyways, let me show you my absolute favorite work, and even though it's not entirely done, I did part of this on stream and a lot of this off stream because is kind of mundane and boring, but this is the start of my train station. And it's a little plain at the moment, but there's some details in here that just tickle me in the right way. I'm sorry, I don't have another way of saying it. But it's cute little things, like these chutes with industrial iron trapdoors in them look just like garbage cans. And the best thing about it is that they're functional, because they're chutes. You can throw stuff in them. I mean, they only fit one type of item, but still, it works, sort of. And the fact you can even open them up like this makes it even better. These cute little benches from Handcrafted look perfect for a little train station like this. That's just kind of small scale. It's next to an industrial area. It's probably not like a super expensive high-end train station. It's kind of simplistic, but I like that about it. It's just nice. There's these boards which would have train schedules on it so that you could see when trains arrive and depart. There's these cute little trees that I made using framed blocks and just some simple acacia wood with azalea leaves. I just like these little trees. Pots from supplementaries that just work. Got these little staircases. Whenever you fall on the track accidentally, you can climb back up. Using chipped and concrete and framed blocks, you can create these things. This is a perfect example of multiple mods working together so well to create things that just work, like a little line so that you don't like fall off, like oop, oh, there's a line, I'm paying attention to this, don't fall down, there might be a train, it's scary, you know, it's so nice. I can't help it. The same thing is on the other side, and over here I was gonna make a little building, probably with a kiosk and maybe a restaurant and just a place to get train tickets, and you know, it would have been like an actual train station. You've got the stairs that go up so you can get to the other side safely without having to risk getting crushed by a train that's coming, and it's just nice. I have no words. This is the kind of stuff that just makes me really happy for some reason. And obviously the trains would go around and I'd need to make the whole track work in order to do that. And I started it, as you can see, with very complicated rails that change around. And obviously I need to dig it all out because right now it looks like an absolute mess, but that's fine. I'll see what comes of this project. This will be yours and I's little secret project. The SSMP Create is as if it was never actually there, but in our own minds. It's just a place where I can make my fantasies come to life, and I've always wanted to build my own worlds, and that's honestly where my love for Minecraft comes from. And I'm just happy to share that with you. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you back on the regular SploinkerSMP, or not. Maybe there will be another episode. I don't really know what's gonna happen next yet, but it will definitely be cool and exciting. So I will see you next time. Goodbye.